Hello everyone. Welcome back to this CATIA. Welcome back to this course of CATIA. I am Manthan Devani, your course instructor for this course. So let's begin for the day. So today, as we will start the basic steps of using the software. So as we all know that to model a 3D part, we first require to make a 2D sketch of that part. That is the cross section of that part. So we will first look at the steps to how to start a file for the 2D sketch. So for doing so, you can go to start. You will use the mechanical design interface. We will use the mechanical design workbench. And here we have the sketcher option. It will ask you to name the part or the file with which you want to save the file. So I will keep it by part 1 and click on OK. Now this window will appear. So to start the sketch for 2D sketching, you can always use this symbol. This is known as the sketch symbol. So click on this and select the plane in which you want to sketch. That is the whether you want to start your 2D sketch on YZ plane or on the XZ plane or on the XY plane. So I will select this plane, that is the YZ plane. So the screen turns perpendicular to this plane. Now here we will look at the first we will look at the what we are looking at. So this is the design tree as I mentioned earlier. This is the part tree history. So whenever you start a new command or do anything to your part, it will add up or it will be shown here. So I have now started a sketch. So you can see here that it has included new sketch named as sketch 1. So this was the plane in which I had selected to sketch. So this is the perpendicular plane. So if you think that it's disturbing you, you can simply hide it by clicking on the edges and right click and then hide and show. So the plane will be hidden and you will have a clear view. You can also hide the other planes. So this is the perpendicular plane. You can hide this one. Click on the plane and right click and click on hide and show. So the planes are hidden now. As you can see, the color here also has changed. So this means that this part or this identity is hidden in this feature. If you want to bring them back or if you want to see them, you just right click here and hide and show. Just right click here, hide and show. So you see, that's how we hide and show things in the CATIA. So whenever you enter the sketch, basically the default option, by default, the grid appears in the background. So if you want to turn off the grid, like if someone does not like the grids, you can simply click here in the sketch tools. You can click here and the grid will be turned off. So sometimes it's better to have the grid during the 2D sketches. It helps a lot. So I prefer to keep it on. So let's begin the sketching. So here are few tabs that are given in the CATIA for basic sketching. Uh, these tabs can be moved uh, for your simplicity. Like you can just drag and place them here wherever you want for your simplicity. So you see the screen has now become bigger. So you can also change the orientation of these tabs. Like click on the tab, press the shift key. You see now it has become vertical and leave the mouse button and it will become the vertical. So you can place it over here in the corners wherever you like. You can press the shift key, release the mouse button, and it will become vertical. To bring it back, let's click here, press the shift key again and release it. It will become horizontal again. So you have two orientations, vertical and horizontal. You can place them wherever you want as per your convenience. So let's place it where it was earlier. Mm, yes. So the first tab in the sketching is the profile tab. So it has just some basic shapes that we require for 2D sketching, like the profile, rectangles, circles, lines, ellipses, lines, dotted line or the center line or axis, whatever you can call it, and points. So in this session, we will look at this profile tab and how we can use the different commands present in this. Okay, so this profile tab. So the first one is itself called a profile tool. So when you select this, you can randomly draw any shape you want by just moving a cursor and clicking on the points wherever you want. You see, I can draw any shape here. Randomly, you can click anywhere and it will draw a shape. And if you want to escape, just click, just hit the escape button. Yes. So you see, this is the random shape that we have made. I will just delete it because it does not make any sense. So I will make a proper shape now. Let's try making something. Uh, so you see, the blue line shows me that parallelism option. It means that the highlighted line, that is the orange line, and my current line are parallel to each other. If I do not want it, I can just drag my mouse in the other direction. Or if I want it, I can just drag where the parallelism shows and I can click here. So you see this is now these two lines are parallel. I can move them wherever I want. These two lines will be parallel always. If I do not want the parallelism, I can just click on this parallelism and hit delete option. These are deleted now. These are no longer parallel. You see. Now let's look at the next command, that is the rectangle command. So here you can see that you have a little drop down like arrow near the rectangle command. So if I take my mouse cursor over there, it changes to vertical shape. If I click there, you have these many different types of rectangle. So let's look at the each and every one. Also, if you want to drag, if you want to use this rectangle more frequently, you can just simply you can see the at the start of this tab you have a vertical line. You can just click it and it will come out of that tab. So it becomes another tab. You see, it's like you can create another tab only of rectangles. So first let's see the rectangle, normal rectangle. So it's just a rectangle, cornered rectangle. Wherever you want, you can place it. Next is the oriented rectangle. So for this it requires 3 points to be defined. The first point, second point, and the third point. You see, these two lines are parallel. These and these are parallel, and this is parallel. So let's look at this again. I want this here and here. It will ask you to define 3 points, and you can place, and it will place a rectangle automatically. Next is the parallelogram. So as we all know that the parallelogram has two sides parallel. So for this also you have to define 3 points, and it will make a parallelogram for you. As we all know that the difference between a parallelogram and a rectangle is that a rectangle has 90-degree angles at each corner. A parallelogram does not have that. It only has parallel sides. It can the angle at the corners can vary. So you see now these and this line are parallel, and this line are parallel, but the angles are not the 90 degree. So you can make parallelogram where as and wherever you want. You see, this will always this will always create a parallel line. Next, next is the elongated hole, or if you want to if you want to make elongated holes or oblong curves anywhere, you can use this. You basically use it for oblong holes. So just define the center line, and it will and drag your mouse outside. You can keep the radius where whatever you like, and it will make a shape like that. So you see now it has defined a erase distance of 30 from the center. You can always change that distance or delete that distance. So how to change that distance? We double click the dimension, and you can always change it. Like I can, if I want, I can keep it 10. It will shrink down. And double click again. I want to keep it 50. It will come 50, and it elongates. If I do not want this dimension, I can always delete it. And now this will be free to move in the given direction. So you see the symbols at the junctions where these circles and the straight line meet. This is for the tangents. It means that this line and this curve are tangent to each other. So if I do not want to keep them tangent, just select this and click delete. Now these will not be tangent at all. Here I have another tangency, that's why. Yeah, you see, now they are not tangent anymore, and I can change whatever shape I want. That's the elongated hole or the oblong holes. Next is the cylindrical hole. It's the same like the elongated hole. In this, but in this feature, you can use the you can use to create holes at a given radius. So you see, like this. So how to define this? Like it first asks you the center of the circles of the concentric circles that it is going to take. So first define the center where you want it. Then we'll create a center line around which the hole will be created. So this is the first point in the center line. This is the last point of that center line. And just drag your mouse around it, and it will give you the curved elongated holes. So here you can see that it is given a radius. I can always change this radius by double clicking it, and I can put a value of 5. Let's say keep it 5, and it will shrink down. I can keep it 20, it will max in enlarge. Then also change this radius to a diameter. How to do that? Here, when you double click, you open the constraint definition box. So here you have dimension given as radius. Just click here. It will a drop down menu will appear where you can select diameter. And I will keep a diameter of 20. That means the radius will be 10. So it should shrink down. Yes. See, it has shrunken down. So that's the curved elongated holes. Now let's move on to the next option. The next option is the keyhole profile. So this is the this feature is used whenever we have a fixed profile of the key we want to use. So we basically use this. So first we define the first point, create a line along which with the cut will be made or profile will be made. Select the second line, and you see, just drag. move your mouse around and ask you the it will give you the preview of what you want. I will click here. Now this below radius is frozen and now I can change the above radius by moving my cursor around. Yes. So here you can see that I have different radiuses at different ends. You can always change this by double clicking it. I want to keep it at 20 and this is 10. So the figure will be reversed now. Sorry, 25. Yes. One of the constraint in this is that first define the when you define the radiuses of this, it takes this as the smaller radius and this as the bigger radius. So you cannot keep this the above or the second radius smaller than the first radius. That's the constraint of the keyhole profile. So remember that. Let's move ahead. Mm, The next is the hexagon. So select the center and just drag a mouse wherever you like. It will create a hexagon. Yes. You see, you can make hexagons however you want. So that's the hexagon command. The next is the center rectangle. So sometimes there are conditions when we want to create a rectangle, but we don't know the ends, but we know a center where we want the rectangle to originate. So this is the option for that centered rectangle. So let's say I want to get a rectangle from this origin. So I will click here and it will create a rectangle for me, centered rectangle. See, you can create a center rectangle here. There's the center rectangle. This is the simple rectangle, corner rectangle, and this is the center rectangle. So note the difference between the both. Next, we have the centered parallelogram. It is similar to parallelogram, just that we will give a center to this parallelogram. So yeah, that's all the predefined profile for the rectangles that we have. So now you can always close this command by clicking the arrow close over here. But don't worry, we'll always have these options in the drop down menu here. So you see, you have all the options here. So now let's move on to the next profile, that is the circle. So also have different types of circle available here. I will drag this outside so you can see all the circles available for us. The first one is the circle with a center. The normal circle that we have. Just provide the center to it and drag your mouse anywhere you want, and it will draw a circle for you. See, that's the circle. Next is the 3-point circle. Like we had the 3 point rectangle, we also have a 3 point circle. For this, we need to provide 3 points for the circle. Can randomly provide any points and it will be tangent to those points. You see, this, this will always be tangent to those points. And then I will have the third point here. See, you can give any 3 points and it will draw a circle out of it. That's the 3 point circle. Next is the circle using coordinates. Okay, so the circle using coordinates. So here you need to specify the center points of the circle, like the distance, horizontal and vertical distance from this origin. And here you can have the radius. So let's say I have the horizontal distance as 50, vertical distance as 25. So it means 25 mm above and 50 mm to the right. And I have keep to radius as 100. So here you can see circle is defined with the center point. The radius is 100. It is vertically 25 mm above and horizontally 50 mm to the right of this uh, origin. So that's the circle using coordinates. You also have one more option, that is you can insert polar coordinates. Uh, yes, you can also use polar coordinates. For polar coordinates, we give the radius, let's say a radius of 50, an angle. Let's say I give an angle of 45. So this means that an angle of 45 degree from the origin will be drawn, and that will be taken as the center line. And the distance of this center from the origin will be at 50 degrees, 50 mm, and the radius as we provided it before 100 only. So this is the sketch circle using coordinates. So next is circle using tangent lines, tangent line, this right tangent circle. For this, for this option, we need to have three lines, three random lines, so that the circle is tangent to that. So I will draw three lines, random three lines, and I will select this, and I will select this, and this. So you see, it will not take because the circle is not possible for the tangent with three lines. Circle was not possible earlier because the lines were distorted and tangent could not be provided to those. Now let's move the line and again try. I will select this, this, and this. So you see, circle with three tangents. Next we have 3 point arc. So for this you will like to provide a center, first point, last point, first point, center, and the last point. Center with the limits is center is we have 3 point arcs. That's 3 point arc. You can you can always uh, give any radius on whatever you want to this 3 point arc. We'll look that in the future videos how to give dimensions to whatever we have made right now. And last option in the circle option, circle menu. is the arc option. That is the in this we provide the center and create an arc around it. For the 3 point arc, we provide the first point, center, and the last point. But in the arc option, we only provide the center and the arc is drawn around it. You see, that's the arc option. So yeah, that's the circle profiles that we have for the 2D sketches. So that's all for today. We will continue the remaining profiles in the next session. Hope you like this session and see you back soon. Thank you.